Loyola University basketball coach Sheryl Swoopes, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling us why she wanted to transfer. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Lara. Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to ever sign with the WNBA. But this morning, the college coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster has decided to...
They didn't just move on from Sheryl Swoopes. They completely erased her. And the reason? Caitlin Clark.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, appreciate your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's go. So I wanted to do a little bit of a dive into the Fever roster, what that looks like. Now that we've gotten through the bulk of the free agency offseason, we've seen a lot of changes.
Months ago, Swoopes spoke with confidence, predicting failure for the Indiana Fever. She dismissed Caitlin Clark, insisted no one wanted to play in Indiana, and boldly claimed that top talent wouldn't sign.
So y'all can record this, you cannot record this, but the biggest thing I want everybody to hear me say right now.
Fast forward to today, and the Fever have just made the biggest free agency move in WNBA history.
I think you're starting to get a little bit more shine from maybe the casual fan, and maybe some folks who maybe didn't know or haven't seen Indiana as much as they've seen this year.
I agree.
So what's that part like, you know, getting that little bit more attention and getting a little bit more shine and getting the recognition?
Superstar signings, game changers, and Swoopes eating her words.
Wait. Yep. You look good on me, huh? Look good. Like a whole 360. Like, I think I was talking to my wife about it. I'm like, man, what if I go back to Indiana where I started? That'll be crazy. Look.
She's been unusually quiet. Ever seen someone disappear after talking big? That's exactly what's happening now. Indiana just made a statement that's shaking up the entire league, and we're here to break it all down.
For your services, Dawana, so why was this the right opportunity for you?
I just feel like it was the location for one. My kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them. So that and the core that they have here now is just kind of want to fit in, be another piece of the puzzle, and hopefully bring the energy dynamic and take us to a different level in the playoffs.
All right, who queens gather around? Because we've got some major WNBA news. The Indiana Fever just signed Brianna Turner in free agency. Brianna Turner. Let that sink in. But before we dive into all the details, take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the hottest WNBA updates, expert breakdowns, and all the behind-the-scenes drama you won't find anywhere else.
In Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever are trading for a multi-dimensional wing, capable of knocking down the three ball.
Cunningham is starting to cook. Cunningham three is good. Cunningham from the corner.
Locking down defenders.
Several deflections, and this time she gets the steal and the N1 opportunity.
The Indiana Fever just turned free agency upside down. They didn't just add players. They built a powerhouse. Ever play franchise mode in a video game and stack your team with stars? That's exactly what Indiana just pulled off. They went all in, loading their roster with experienced champions, relentless competitors, and players who bring both skill and confidence. This wasn't just an off-season, it was a strategic takeover. First, they secured Natasha Howard, a three-time WNBA champion and one of the league's most dominant defensive forces. Howard doesn't just guard opponents, she shuts them down. Her versatility, rim protection, and rebounding presence instantly strengthen Indiana's defensive identity.
Where you brought up the Fever, I think what I've learned in my WNBA experience is pace of play trumps physicality, it trumps size, it can trump experience, because a lot of times when you're experienced, it's really like code word for your veteran, which is code word for your old.
Slow the pace.
Yeah. So I feel like,
I know that's why you guys were so good for those
in
years.
2018 and 2020, the years we won, that was our whole mantra, was pace, 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 pace. And what I
Then came Dawana Bonner, a 6'4" scoring powerhouse and a nightmare matchup for defenders. Bonner brings leadership, championship experience, and a clutch presence that instantly makes the Fever a serious playoff.
Ace unable to hit. Bree Jones, another 0 board for Connecticut. Better look for Mabry. Off the mark.
And they weren't done. Sophie Cunningham, a relentless competitor and a spark plug on the court. Fearless, energetic, and always ready to fire up her team in the crowd. She thrives in high-pressure moments and plays with a chip on her shoulder, exactly the edge Indiana needed. To top it off, they added Sydney Colson, a veteran with championship DNA who brings leadership and chemistry to any team. Her impact in the locker room will be just as valuable as her presence on the court. This isn't just a roster upgrade, it's a blueprint for success. The Fever didn't wait for greatness. They built it. And
Oh, it's a triple-double for Caitlin. What a reaction by Kelsey.
Well, how about the knowledgeable fans in this building? They burst out of their seats like it was a...
For months, the media pushed the same tired narrative. No one wants to play in Indiana. The franchise was labeled a dead zone, a place elite players wouldn't even consider. Analysts dismissed the Fever, critics laughed at the idea of major signings, and Sheryl Swoopes outright scoffed at the notion that Indiana could land top-tier free agents. To many, the Fever were just another struggling team with no real influence in the league.
So when you talk about the young girls that came in, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, rookie class, really hyping up the league, coming from college to the WNBA, what has that done for you and the buzz of this entire league?
I think it's so positive. I really do. I think it's a fun time to be a part of the W. I truly believe that. I think the skill and the talent has always been there, but now it's just the viewership. And so I give a big old clap to the rookie class. I think that's a lot to deal with when you're at that age and you have that many eyes on you. But I think they've done a great job in the league as well. I think the physicality and all that they're going to get used to, but I think especially Caitlin Clark.
And yet, here we are. Indiana didn't just sign free agents. They landed top-tier talent. The team everyone overlooked just built one of the most dangerous rosters in the WNBA. Nadja Howard, Duwana Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson. These aren't just players, they're game changers. Veterans who had options, but chose Indiana. That alone shatters the nobody wants to play their narrative. With Caitlin Clark, a bold front office, and a revamped roster, Indiana isn't just back, they're a problem.
Use her word. I want to see her continue to be a dog because she is a dog. Here's what I'll say about Angel. I love the fact that she's just her. Right? And she says she's unapologetically Angel. She plays hard, both ends of the floor. It doesn't matter what the score is. The thing that I think people question wasn't so much about her game or her rebounding, but it was the scoring. And the fact that she is either averaging or almost averaging a double-double is pretty impressive to do from anybody, but in particular a rookie. I just love how she's come into this league. She's embraced the bumps, the bruises. She's embraced the good with the bad, and I love watching her play because she plays hard.
Let's be real. This is the Caitlin Clark effect in full force. She's not just another rookie. She's a franchise-altering force. The kind of player who doesn't just lift her team but shifts the entire WNBA landscape. The Indiana Fever, once overlooked, are now the most talked-about team in the league. And that's no accident. Clark's arrival has made Indiana a destination. A team worth watching, and a team worth joining.
Swoopes has it, turns in the air for the game.
Before becoming one of the most electrifying players in WNBA history, Sheryl Swoopes was a sensation on the college stage, leading Texas Tech to the 1993 NCAA title with a record-setting 47-point performance in the championship.
Sophie Cunningham didn't hide the truth when she signed with Indiana. Caitlin Clark was a factor. Players aren't just noticing her deep shooting and flashy assists. They see her leadership, competitive fire, and ability to elevate those around her. That's the kind of player others want to play with. A magnet for both talent and attention, turning an overlooked team into a destination.
November, and the game didn't need saving. I don't know who came up with Caitlin was a savior. That's not true. What the game needed was a disruption.
in the economic marketplace. And that's what we're seeing here. And that's why it's been...
It peddled the same tired narrative nobody wants to play for Indiana. The franchise was seen as a dead zone, a place elite player Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Coulson. These aren't just warm bodies. These are game changers, playoff-tested veterans, players who could have gone anywhere but the best available talent. The same team that supposedly couldn't attract stars just assembled one of the most dangerous rosters in free agents. To many, the Fever were just a struggling team with...
Just watching Fever last season is how young they were and also how they made it to the playoffs, like as a young group. Like, you really don't see that a lot in WNBA. So, but I was just really proud of their work ethic, how they were so hungry and they were passionate about winning games and stuff. They had each other back, they trusted each other out there, and that's the type of...
Suddenly finds itself as the most talked about squad in the league. And that's no accident. Clark's arrival has turned the franchise. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie trying to find her place in the league. She's a franchise-altering force, the kind of player who doesn't just overhyped. Just another college star who'd struggle for years before making an impact in the pros. But the reality? Clark is a core. Sure, she's torching defenses and setting records, but what's happening outside the game is just as significant. She's driving repetitive fire and her ability to make her teammates better. That's the kind of player people want to be around. She's like an event. Every matchup featuring Clark turns into must-watch TV. This isn't just a rising star. Now, the same analysts who wrote off Indiana are scrambling. That nobody wants to play their take, aged like expired milk. The entire perception of the Fever just flipped overnight.